This is the 115th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the Thanksgiving week of November 2012. This episode is titled Tryptophan Coma. Appropriately. CloudFocus Weekly is sponsored by Arkus, your commodity computing experts. I'm your host, Jason Atwood, and joining me, the co-host who scrummed it up to watch 10 hours of football and then pass out in a coma, kind of where I got the idea from, Justin Nelson. Justin, how you doing today?
You like my Thursday scrum?
I do like your Thursday scrum.
I think it said watch football 10 hours, eat 10 hours, pass out 0.000005.
Yes, it was
immediately.
Travel to football 10, eat 10,
go somewhere.
Pass out 0.005.
Yeah, I'm gonna do those things in parallel. Eat and watch football.
Eat and watch football.
I figured 10 is the right number.
Yeah, not really.
Is it more?
No, you're not going to watch any pregame. You're not going to watch any.
I guess it's 12.
Something like that. It starts at like 12:30 and it'll end at like midnight.
I'm going to my sister's, and I asked her, what time do I need to be there? And she's like, well, I'm not going to serve people till like 4:30. I'm like,
be there
yeah,
at
but
4:10.
Like football starts like 12:30. She's like, all right.
So
can
on
I
the
just
scale,
be there at like 10 for pregame? And she's like, whenever you want.
But so you're a family that allows you to watch football, because there's some families that don't.
No. I won't go
if you can't watch football.
I've made this abundantly clear. I will not show up.
You just go downstairs to my house, which would have Thanksgiving there.
I literally just won't show up. They're like, you won't show up? I'm like, I will not show up. Football is more important to me
than all of you combined.
All of you.
And you know what? Turkey is cheap.
I can go
and I can get it anywhere.
Get a turkey leg from wherever.
For anywhere. And you know what? On Friday, turkey's really cheap.
Friday is the day. You go to the grocery store and they're like, here's the roasted turkey.
Yep, for free.
From the deli counter.
All right, well, it is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
I tripped you up there, too. Not tryptophan you, but I tripped you up.
I guess a little bit.
Thanksgiving week. You were like, whoa, what's that?
No, I had read it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of strange. So we have a couple things this week. As we sit in the middle of the week, probably going to be celebrating. So a happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there.
Yes, everyone who's listening is probably now enjoying Thanksgiving or has already
If you are actually
Thanksgiving.
listening to our podcast on Thanksgiving, I say thank you to you special.
They should have an iPad mini as the centerpiece in the table, and this podcast should be playing.
Right. And for all you international listeners.
Pass the stuffing.
Yes. Over here a little bit. Could I get the yams?
We know we do have international listeners, too.
Yes, we do.
Some. It was in our infographic.
So if you guys...
A decent little chunk of the pie that was not from America.
Hope you have nothing to do with any American tomorrow, because you'll be getting no response.
None.
And probably none on Friday either.
No.
All right, so speaking of non-responses, we've got a couple things this week.
Is that so?
Yeah, a little bit. I got to try. We got a blog post talking about the non-profit starter pack. We have a little mini review of Salesforce Touch and the Touch app. Not our pick of the week, and we'll talk about that. Then we have some earnings from Salesforce. Then we have some Google news, or some Google comparison news. And then we'll do our CloudFocus app picks of the week. This is getting up there in one of my most expensive picks. I'm getting up there, yeah. So
I've had some expensive ones in the past. I mean, my pick last week was $400.
That's true.
It's sitting here right next to me, my little mini.
This is something that some people don't even have. They don't consider it value. So we'll see. We'll see what people say.
I haven't even named it yet.
Your mini?
Yeah. I might name it Minnie because that was my grandma's name.
Mimi?
Minnie. But like
your grandma was named Minnie.
Minnie. Minnie.
Oh. Okay. So
we have the mail guy here. Go away.
Thank you.
He doesn't get hand signals. Yeah, he has to verbalize. See. He doesn't.
The podcast studio is very popular today. All right, so let's get to it. First up is blog post.
It's not the first time. You know what? If a listener out there, go back, because that's happened before.
Many times.
Yeah, but once in like a way just like that, where we were like, go away, find us that episode. We'll send you something.
Okay, we'll send you something. Okay, trying to get us on track here.
Talking about my grandma's name, the mail guy. Let's just do it. Our blog post, nonprofit starter packs.
Love it,
right?
or leave it.
Love it or leave it.
Not up on the blog today, but it'll probably be up either.
It'll be there by the time you hear this.
Maybe or Friday.
Yeah.
blog.arkusinc.com. Written by one of our newer bloggers and someone who knows the Nonprofit Starter Pack very, very well.
Yep.
For those of you unaware, and I can imagine, Salesforce obviously has an entire foundation where they give away licenses to nonprofit 501c3 profits. They give away 10 in basically a little grant.
10
and then
free licenses.
10 free licenses. Enterprise.
And a nice discount on top of anything additional.
Yeah, for most things, not all things.
Pretty much everything.
There's certain things I thought were more.
No.
Anyway, so then they have this thing that's actually been grown over the years. I saw it probably 6 years ago, and then I just recently was playing with it actually yesterday. And it's a set of applications kind of bundled up that can install in your org and change a lot of stuff and make your Salesforce instance much more nonprofit friendly. So opportunities become donations. You have a concept of householding. You have
organizations,
and you have lots of stuff in there that's just happening that you're like, what, how,
affiliations, recurring donations, relationships, payments, which happens to be my favorite,
memberships.
My favorite feature is payments. Just gonna throw that out there. It's new.
You throw it, you let someone else catch it.
It's new. It's within the last year or two.
Yeah.
They came out with a payments module that was absolutely necessary, with a payment scheduler. Really cool. I really like it. That's my favorite, and I think Stacy here mentioned that as her favorite thing. Love it. The relatively new payment object. Yes. It's pretty awesome.
So she breaks it down into leave it, take it or leave it, love it, or need it. Which is kind
something
of fun.
That's not there.
So anyway, it's about it. I don't want to, you can go read the blog post. It kind of listed all the features. That's great. But I mean, so my experience as someone who barely deals with the Nonprofit Starter Pack, I went in to set up a local PTA, my PTA, the Parent Teacher Association for our school, which I'm the new treasurer of. So I was doing my duty. I got them the free licenses. I went through that rigmarole. It's actually pretty easy. You just have to find paperwork, which is hard to find.
The paperwork.
Yeah. And they give it to you. You get in there. And I can totally see how if you don't know what you're doing, meaning even I, who's someone who's been around Salesforce, 12 years or so, there was some things I was like, well, because I understand what we do from a PTA and how we raise money, but interesting trying to fit it into this sort of object scheme of which I'm very familiar with, but it was renamed and changed, and definitely there's a learning curve and kind of going.
There's also choices that you need to make.
Yes.
Around certain things,
like how donations are brought in. Do you want to go? What is it, the
households, one-to-one versus individual?
Right.
All sorts of different choices that are required to be made around. They've done such a good job over the last 2 years, I would say, of taking all those settings and making screens for them, because those things used to be just like buried, and some of them weren't even settings. So like now they have nice roll-ups. They have setting screens for households, setting screens for like naming conventions, leaving things, putting things into households, taking things out of households. Really nice. It's gotten a whole lot better over the last couple of years, and there's actually a really, really lively Google group around it. Mm-hmm. The NPSP group. You can find that. You can subscribe to it, participate in it. I know that she'll be happy I'm mentioning her. Judy is a very, very big member of that group, and I actually get the daily email subscription of the group just to see what's going on in there.
So a little back up on it. So the Nonprofit Starter Pack is maintained by Salesforce.
Yes, it is a managed package. Maintained by Salesforce.
Okay. And in terms of the features, it's not tied to any release. They don't do release cycles like
they have
Winter.
Their own release cycle.
Okay. And
recently they've allowed you to upgrade your packages.
Do they have their own idea exchange where you can go in and vote on stuff?
There is a nonprofit specific topic. So you know how you tag ideas? You can tag something.
Okay. So anyway, I find it's for some nonprofits it's obviously key to their business. When I was setting up this little PTA who did everything in paper, I kind of had this feeling like I'm bringing a sledgehammer to putting an attack in the wall.
Well, you are.
Yeah. which in some ways is nice. But when I sat there in the meeting and I pulled my computer around and I showed them, I built one dashboard, but it was the goal of the year with the the thing going up to our goal for fundraising, and showed them, and they're like, wow, going from where they have no clue what's going on. These guys don't even collect email addresses. So to this, we're jumping like way over. So anyway, if you're a nonprofit of any size, realize that you can use this. I would say you need to invest some time. If you're going to set it up yourself, to learn about it, to read about it.
There's also while it's one big starter pack,
right,
it is 4 or 5 or 6 separate packages
that you don't have to install all of them.
Well, it comes with all of them, and then you can
uninstall them,
get rid of a few of them.
Okay.
Like there's a few I never use. Like I don't like the relationship thing that they have.
Yeah, I like the affiliation one. That's
Affiliations
nice.
is great.
Yep.
We use that at Arkus.
Yep.
Because it's its own package.
I actually extended it.
Did you?
Yeah, I put in some time-based stuff, and I did some little stuff in our org.
Neat.
All right. Well, next up is something that's absolutely neat, which is the.
Is it now?
Yeah. So we've been talking about Salesforce Touch for a while. Touch is something that was announced, I think, almost a year ago, right?
It was announced at Dreamforce last year. So
Dreamforce 11.
So that's over a year ago.
They went into pilot. We got a pilot version of it, beta version of it, sometime in the spring.
Yes.
And then it went GA in winter 13.
That's right. It is now GA.
And they put out an app. So what it is, Salesforce Touch is a rewrite of the interface in HTML5, and then building it around the concept that you're using a tablet. Should be able to work on any device, and it had
no.
Well, should be able to. That in theory. No, I'm saying in theory.
In the future.
Yeah, in the future. It's HTML5, meaning you're writing for the browser. Any browser that should be able to run it. Now, that being said, HTML5 is very, very, I wouldn't say it's both new and it's also very intense, meaning it takes a lot, because it's based in newer technologies, it takes a lot of processing power. So this is why, people say, well, why do you keep upgrading computers? You just use a browser. Well, because the browser is doing a lot of work. It's not just rendering, HTML4 or HTML3 tables anymore, bold and H1s. It's actually rendering, doing logic and code and stuff like that. So browsers now are getting tested by their JavaScript ability. So my guess is that this, and the reason it only runs on iPads, I think right now, is because
iPad 2 and up,
right, is because it is very intense.
Although
in terms
it does work on the original iPad.
You tried it?
Yeah.
Didn't stop you from using it?
No. It was really slow, though.
So you've been playing around. So they announced an app, which is basically just Safari.
Yeah, you go into the iTunes App Store or the App Store on your device, and you can download an app called SF Touch.
Right.
And it's Salesforce Touch wrapped in an application, and it's basically the same as just going, if you're touch enabled, as going to the website on the browser of the iPad. It is slow. I'm just going to throw that out there. It's slow. It takes a while to load the app. And then once the app is loaded, it takes a while to load things within the app. So it's also just a little confusing to me why there are some tabs available, but other tabs are not. So Chatter is like the star of the show, right?
Of course.
The first tab is Chatter. Then there's a Tasks tab, and it defaults to today. I guess things that are due today. But I can't look at just like, I want like those task views like today and overdue or all open. And I can't see that. And I don't even know how to get to it from here. I'm not sure I can. Then there's 4 more tabs. Accounts, opportunities, contacts, make total sense.
Right.
And then the last one, projects. And that I don't understand. Because projects is a custom object in our org. We've talked about, we capture projects in our org. It's a tab. But I've got other tabs that are custom objects, and I don't see those here in my Salesforce Touch. And I really don't understand why one shows up and all the others don't.
See, it doesn't show up for me, so I'm thinking
it doesn't even show up for you.
It's some sort of setting that you have, yeah.
Well, I didn't set anything. So
maybe you did.
maybe. The other thing that I find kind of, again, this is total. I mean, it's not beta. This is GA, so I feel like it's okay to.
So you can take off the kid gloves.
Yeah, a little bit. Like if this was still like beta, please don't hurt me. I would.
That's Hammer, by the way.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, he was busy at Dreamforce. Like there's, you load an account. It has these little buttons here for details, which is the account's actual details. It has like an actions list where I can edit or create a new task. I can click on the chatter tab. It shows all the chatter. And then I can click on related. And then I have a drop down that asks me what kind of related things do I want to see. But then I can't create a new related item, which I find odd. Like I can create
right.
I can create a task, which is a related item, but I'm looking at my list of contacts related to an account, and I can't add a new one from here. So I guess I would have to jump out of the accounts tab into the contacts tab, I think, and then create a new contact. And then I don't know, the interface is just a little not, it's slow and it's not great. It's really not. It's not what I was hoping for. It looks like an iPad app. I'll give them that.
Yeah,
it looks like a mobile app. It's slick, but in all reality, I will be just going to salesforce.com, login.salesforce.com, and logging in on Safari because I can get around a lot faster. I can do everything on there, and I can do everything I want to do. I can't do everything I want to do in this version that is GA. It is live. Here it is, production.
Yeah, but it's all right. To take the other side of it, it's not. They're not saying this is live and it's taking over something else.
I don't know. You sit there in those keynotes and you watch.
No, keynotes aside. Keynotes aside.
Keynotes aside is not fair.
No, because they're saying in the keynotes they're saying here's a new feature we have. They never said you're gonna give up Salesforce and not use it.
And that's the Sales Cloud.
No, they didn't do that.
And that's the mobile cloud. Watch someone sign something. I mean that's where I get a little.
Yeah, this is your old crap. All right, well, let me talk about it a little bit because I've actually been using it for 5 months. What do you think? Well, I've been using it since I too. It's not my go-to at all. I in fact would never really use it other than to show it to someone like, hey, look, this is where they're going. It's got a lot of stuff that needs to happen. It's too slow, first of all. Anything that makes data slower or interface slower, I know it's doing a lot of work. I actually don't really like the navigation of it. I don't like the way things are hidden and like how sort of, again, part of it's probably getting used to it. I much rather use the Salesforce Labs Force Pad, I think they call it now, which allows you to get access to everything, and it's actually it's a viewer of all data, but you can get to everything, and it's kind of arranged a little bit better. Or just log into the app. So while I get where they're coming from and where they're going. I like the concept behind it. It has a long way to go, and it kind of just struggles with me, like, because the Salesforce app when you log in on your mobile isn't bad. It's
very good.
It's close. It needs some help if you're going to use it on mobile. It needs to be a little bit bigger. Things need to be a little bit. There's just ways that you interact with certain, like, there's a lot of sites I use, like, like fantasy sites and stuff like that, and I notice like drop downs when you try to hit a drop down, a dynamic drop down, things like that don't work. It's just stuff like that you have to think about when you design it. But I feel like, I guess I just don't understand why I try to make it this entirely new paradigm for navigation, entirely new paradigm for interaction, as opposed to slowly tweaking the other app, like the real native app, to just be more and more mobile enabled.
Or even just the iPhone app. Like, I find the iPhone Mobile Lite Salesforce Mobile works like a charm.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It works great. It's got offline stuff. It's not as clunky as this.
It's clunky.
It's clunky, not as clunky as this.
It's pretty clunky.
If that's clunky, this is clunkier.
Yeah, I agree.
I know it's new, and I like to rail,
I just don't know the use. That's the thing. Tell me the use case.
I can't because I won't. Because if I want to look at Chatter, the Chatter app is better at that than this is.
Definitely.
If I want to look at Salesforce data for reals, I'm logging into login.salesforce.com on my browser, and I'm looking at Salesforce.
Want to look at dashboards? I'll use their dashboard app.
So I don't have the use for this yet.
Yeah. Well, again,
hopefully it'll be better one day, and it'll get there, and you'll be able to do all sorts of fun stuff on it, and see all the data you want to see, and edit all the data you want to edit, and add related records, and all sorts of fun stuff, and actually get a task list of things I need to do today or in the next 7 days. Like, why is that not there? There's a tasks tab that defaults to a day. Like, I don't know. I don't find that I use Salesforce tasks in that way, but whatever.
Well, Salesforce tasks are I mean, they're just not, for us who are heavily task dependent, it is not the place where I'm putting in my tasks.
I just like the all open view. Why can't I have that? I just want the all open view.
You can't have that.
I just want it.
You have a day picker, and then that's
why do I have a day picker? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, let me look at my tasks for July 23rd of 2013.
That's exactly what you want to do.
That's what I want to do?
Yeah, so long way to go. I'm not sure.
Sorry, Salesforce. We love you.
Yeah, we love you so much. Maybe we should post a blog post about a review of Touch.
I think that's in the calendar.
It is? Okay,
I
good.
believe it is.
All right, so it has a long way to go before you use it. And I think they really have to explain why you would use this versus something else. Because, again, I have a hard time. I was with a client the other day. Salesforce was demoing, or prospect, and Salesforce was demoing their mobile. And we left, and I was talking to the partnership I named about it, and I was saying, that's one of the things I struggle with is because the mobile story is very all over the place right now. Because in some ways, everything works. You want to log on your iPhone? You want to log on your tablet? Fine, just log in. It works. It's a mobile site. It's mobile because it's on the internet.
It's the silliest thing ever because 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whenever it was, when I got my first generation iPhone, and my manager's manager emails me on the train home and says, hey, can you reset my Salesforce password? I was able to do it.
Right.
That was like 6 years ago. I went on my iPhone. I logged in. Took a while. I was on the Edge network.
Yeah.
But I got to his user, and I clicked the reset user button.
There you go.
I mean, I could have also just replied back to his email. It says, you know that forgot password.
There's also a link there.
But it was the boss's boss's boss. So, you know, you do what you got to do.
Yeah. Who was your boss at that point?
That was you.
Oh, okay. Just thought we would
it was your boss's boss.
It was my boss's boss. I'm trying to think who that was. At the company that shall not be named.
That's right.
Excellent.
The boss who shall not be named.
Well, somebody loves Touch because next story up is Salesforce and their beats expectations. So we don't do a lot of talking about Salesforce financials. I don't think that's as interesting. But when you have a headline like Salesforce on track to be a $3 billion company this year, okay, that's interesting.
Hey now.
So it generated $788 million in revenues first fiscal year of 2013, third quarter, up 35% over the same period last year, and expects to break the $3 billion revenue mark by this time. This fiscal year ends in January. So when it ends in January,
their fiscal goes February through January.
Yep.
Some weird thing.
So kind of interesting, I think the overlying part of the articles, and I think what people are saying, and I don't even know what the stock is. I could look that up
I was
quickly.
Just looking at it the other day. It was at like 150 or so.
One of the things is, are the strategy of all the buying the things working? Obviously, from a stock point, it's working. We've been, semi-critical of sort of like buying these things and then not seeing them, although we have seen a lot of them. If you go back over a lot of the purchases, you can look back at new things that we're using today and going, that we use heavily, and say, great, that came from there. There's others that feel like they're these islands unto themselves, the Buddy Medias, the Radiant Sixes. They feel like they're very separate.
Those look like they're coming.
Yeah, well,
if you believe the videos.
They look like they're coming in and being built in Salesforce. Work.com looks like it's coming. I forgot the name of the company they bought for that one. Ripple, right? So
that looks like
awesome.
Yeah, actually, to me, I've been going back over the last month or so and watching the Dreamforce keynotes, the product keynotes, and I found that the work one was really my favorite.
Yeah.
I did not like the Sales Cloud one at all. It was just, let's watch some more videos. And it was like, let's invite 4 more big companies up here so that they can show you their videos. And that was it. And then at the end, it was like, here's 22 features we delivered, and that's the Sales Cloud. So the work one, to me, was really interesting because it was describing more of a paradigm shift in the way that human resources thinks about people and how they interact with each other and how you set goals and how you recognize each other and
it also is something that doesn't exist. I think that's the thing that us, again, I don't know why I'm being the apologist today, but
stop apologizing.
I'm apologizing.
You feel the way you feel.
I'm so sorry.
You are who you are.
One of the things is that we have seen, if you were brand new to Salesforce, brand new to the conference, and you got up and saw the Sales Cloud and the way that they presented it, it would look great. Yeah. The problem is the Sales Cloud is something we've been doing for 10 years, and it's really good already, and we use it every day, and it's like ho-hum. So even if you add on these 3 features, electronic this, chatter this, messages this, whatever, it's like it still does what it does. It still has one of the best CRMs, just plain CRM, Sales Clouds there is. So it's hard for us to look at that and go, get excited about it, whereas something like Work, because it is something that's new and we've never seen before and interacts in a way in Salesforce that we don't have. I think us people who have Salesforce for a long, long time, we go, that's interesting because it's something new. Oh, I get basically a new toy. And even though, I know there's some pricing thing, and again, anything. My theory is anything with a .com after it, you pay more for. So if it's work.com, you're going to pay more for it. Data.com, you're going to pay more for it. Site.com, you're paying for it. Salesforce.com, you pay for that too. Sales Cloud, nope. Marketing Cloud, no.
Service Cloud,
Service Cloud's installed. It's part of. If you buy Enterprise, you get Service Cloud. You get parts of it.
Parts.
Well, you get cases, you get solutions.
Yeah,
you get console.
You don't get the console.
You get console.
No, you get the crappy console.
You get the old crappy console. So anyway, I think that's sort of the thing. It's like,
have you seen the crappy console lately? It's so cool to go in there because
it's like
it transports you back 6 years.
It's like, look, I'm back.
Oh, the tabs are gray.
All the tabs are gray. So anyway, I think those things, those pieces of the future that are coming and that are integrated and are forward-looking, I'm excited about. I had a client ask the other day, when's Chatterbox coming? Because they saw it at Dreamforce. They're like, oh, we're excited about that.
Yeah.
And I said, whenever it comes, your compliance department's not going to let you have it. So just stop thinking about it.
Well, I've got working with a client today that uses Dropbox quite a bit.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. You keep all this stuff in Dropbox. Like, in the back of my head, like, okay, when Chatterbox comes out, we'll talk about that. Because you want to try as an operational or as an operations organization or the IT organization, you want to try and get things wrangled. You don't want people like, these important files sitting in the Dropbox folder.
Yeah. Oh, it's a huge. I mean,
it's not the worst thing in the world if you can control it a little, but it's not much control that you have over a Dropbox.
Well, that's why they think Chatterbox it's like Dropbox, but that you trust.
But it's from Salesforce, we
already have all your data.
Yeah, we already have your customers' social security numbers, so you may as well drop their files in there too.
Those files don't mean anything.
Drop the loan documentation in there, whatever.
There you go. Next up, kind of a fun story. I just
texted this to my father.
This is on bgr.com. I guess I could probably look that up, what that actually means. But it came out last week. I actually tweeted it because I thought it was interesting. And the headline is, Google is making more money in advertising than the American print media combined. Now, first up, let me just say, Google's an international company. American print media is nationally located. So there's already a whatever. This is not the stat
fuzzy math.
Fuzzy math. But it basically shows a graph and showing what newspapers are making, back from 2004 to what Google's making now. And
I don't see this graph.
It's on the top of the article.
Broken.
Okay.
Image is broken on my browser.
And it basically shows newspapers, magazines, and Google. I mean, what's kind of interesting is the whole thing looks like a downward trend.
The entire thing is down except Google, really.
But Google's going up, but the whole advertising market looks like it's coming down.
Well, you have to stack rank them.
Stack rank, I love it.
You have to put them on top of each other. And see if they're totaling.
That's true.
Because it doesn't look like the whole thing is actually down.
Whereas Google starts in 2004 with some little.
It actually looks
revenue.
like it as a whole is
maybe it's more
up.
Yeah. Well, that's 40 plus 40 is 80. Yeah, so you're right. It's probably going up.
You gotta learn how to read those graphs. God, they're tough when they're stack ranked like that.
I wish it was stack ranked. It would have been better. But anyway, interesting. I mean, just kind of change it because again, you think about the world we live in. I mean, if anybody doesn't think that print media is completely dead at this point,
well, it's not completely dead because it's
dead.
not at zero.
Oh,
but it's a dying breed. If you look at the print, it's flat over the last 3 years. It's totally flat. 09, 10, 11. So
no, down.
No, it's kind of flat.
That's down.
9, 10, 11 is flat.
You can't read graphs. That's going down. That's smallly down increments.
Small increments.
Yeah.
Not like, when you look at 05 to 09,
right.
That's an enormous, $25
But if you look at it
billion.
from 2006 down, it's going down every year. Whether it's going down a little bit or a lot, it's going down every year.
Yeah, it's downwardly trending.
Yes.
Trending down.
Well, it's funny because someone said to me the other day, said, I'm going to read the paper, or said, I like on the Sunday or something, they had a ritual, it's like, read the paper. I said, the paper?
I
what
know.
Are you read? Are you reading a paper that's delivered to your
I've got a buddy who, reads the paper at home. And I'm like, you read the paper at home? Not even, you grab it because it's a quarter so you can hop on the subway and just read it?
Right.
He's like, no, I read it at night. I'm like, you read the newspaper at night? There's so many things wrong with that.
First of all, whatever you're reading is 24 hours old.
There's so many things wrong with what you're doing.
The world
you're
just
reading
happened.
The newspaper, which was written yesterday, but you're reading it tonight, and it's physical paper that's getting black gunk all over your hands.
That's never a good thing.
And it costs money.
Right.
That's disturbing. That's disgusting. What are you doing?
Well, and it's an entire...
And, by the way, your laptop's sitting on your lap while you're reading it. What is wrong with you?
I use my iPad as the holder for my newspaper because I don't want to... Listen, a lot of people...
It's a thing.
It's a thing. And people like the physical media. I used to, in college, back when dinosaurs ruled the earth, I used to, every day, and I was a business major, surprise, surprise, my favorite thing in the morning to do was to grab the Wall Street Journal and to eat
3 donuts and a large coffee.
No, and to have my coffee and bagel, because I'm a New Yorker, have coffee and bagel and read the Wall Street Journal for an hour every morning. I loved it. And it was, I had a couple coffee places I go, or the student center or whatever, but I used to just love that concept of sitting there and reading through and reading the articles. There is something still that has not been replaced, that have not figured out. I mean, a lot of apps that we've picked Zeit and Currents and a ton of these things that are just, great apps. It still has not replaced the very ease of grabbing and getting through lots of information in paper format in front of you, like a paper. Like the Wall Street Journal, the front page alone is so much information, and you can scan it. It's built for that. It's built to scan and be able to take in 100 things and then be able to go get what you want. There's no way to put that on the screen yet, or in a way that makes it really easy.
It's just so big. It's only so big. I mean, I guess you could squeeze a lot onto these retina displays nowadays, but still, the paper is enormous.
Yeah.
It's 3 times the size of an iPad.
Right.
I used to do the same thing. I used to love, I used to take the subway.
National Enquirer.
No, I used to take the subway from, it was like a half-hour subway ride from home to work. And in the morning, the New York Post was a quarter.
Yeah.
So, almost like the National Enquirer.
Yeah.
Hair above.
Hair above.
Hair above. So it was a quarter. So I'd drop a quarter at the guy right by the subway station, grab it, and it was just enough time to read the entire sports section. The Post still has a really great sports section. And then by the time I get off at Grand Central, I'd drop the paper in the garbage, and that was that.
Yeah.
It was a quarter. It was a rental.
So this doesn't surprise me from a news standpoint. It surprised me from a in terms of advertising dollars, I just think of all the print media, all the magazines. They say there's like something like 500 new magazines a year, and only like 3 survive.
Yeah.
They're talking about there's so many that are going out of business now. I was reading this other article about all these magazines that are just they're going to their last episode.
I can't even believe some magazines.
Well, the NFL came out with one. That was the silliest thing. The NFL. So we're football fans, but the NFL came out with a print magazine like 4 months ago.
It's just absurd.
Why would you do that 4 months ago? Like, why 4 months? Yeah, maybe 10 years ago, I get it. But 4 months ago, like, let's do a print mag.
Why not just do
an e-mag or whatever?
Yeah, I don't understand. There are some magazines that exist. I don't even know how they even exist.
I don't know how they keep playing.
Some of them make their way into my apartment.
I think all of them do.
And I don't even know how half of these things exist.
Yeah, well,
some of them I get, like Style magazine. It's enormous. It's super thick.
Right.
But the whole thing is one big advertisement.
It's all ads, yeah.
The whole thing. There's like one article.
Yeah,
there's like 800 pages and there's one article.
It's also about looking at stuff. And I will say, I actively try to get off catalog. So I've belonged to, I think there's a site called 41pounds.org. There's another one called, actually New York City just started up a thing where you can sign up for these get off these lists things.
I got on that one.
Yeah. So I've done them. I've done the ones where you pay for, but eventually you can't kill them all. They're like cockroaches.
They come back.
But the only way to do it is actually contact the company. So I grab the last of the like Brookstone. There's like a couple that are just tough. So I stack them up next to my computer, and then when I have 5 minutes, I go through them. I Google their somewhere on their site, either email or live agent or what, not live agent, but chat. And I say, take me off your list. And they say, it'll take 3 to 6 months. But like, I don't want that stuff coming to me, even though I think the shopping experience of looking through a catalog in some ways is like a really great experience.
Oh, when I was younger, I used to love getting the East Bay catalog.
Even on the plane now with Sky Mall. It's awesome to look through Sky Mall. But I don't want to come into my house.
Northern Brewer,
very good.
It's a good one.
Brookstone, Hammerschleimer, Sharper Image used to be so much fun.
East Bay.
Oh yeah, East Bay's good.
That was a great one. All right,
we have rat-holed enough.
We seriously have. Let's get to some picks.
Oh, first before that, we had 2 new reviews on iTunes.
We love those.
Thank you very much. I don't know your names right this minute, but we appreciate it. We posted our internal chatter, and we all gave ourselves big likes.
Everyone got likes.
We got likes. So thanks very much. Remember, you can give us reviews on iTunes. It's kind of just a great place because it's kind of where everybody subscribes from. So leaving us a review there, great. We really appreciate it. Speaking of reviews, let's get to our chatter pick of the week. So yours,
chatter pick of the week, huh?
Sorry, I kind of
chatter on the tongue. You gave mine away
a little bit.
All right, well, so let me go first then.
This was your pick, by the way. This was your pick of the week.
Was my pick last week, and you nixed it to pick the iPad Mini.
Yes.
So all right, we'll go with this one. So this came from, I can't even take credit for it, and gosh, it stinks. I can't even think of the person who mentioned it. There was a conversation happening on the MVP chatter community, which is exclusive. I'm letting people in a little bit behind the covers. Someone asked something about like, oh, what do you guys do for like Chatter Desktop now that there's, if I want to be in multiple orgs at multiple times.
Right.
And Chatter Desktop actually does a really nice job. I'm logged into 3 orgs in my Chatter Desktop, and you can flip between all 3 of them. Boom, boom, boom.
Nice.
Whichever one you want to be in. One's the Dreamforce org, one's our org, and one is the customer group for the MVP community.
Right.
And then someone mentioned this, and I installed it, tried it. It's actually really great. It's called Chatter Monitor. It is free. It is a Chrome extension or plugin, whatever Chrome calls it.
Yep.
By a company called Fronde, guessing.
Okay.
Fronde. But it puts this little chatter bookmarklet thing. I'm gonna turn my computer around so that you can see what this is called. What it looks like, so that you can describe it. This little guy up here.
That's called an extension icon.
Little extension icon.
Yes.
And it actually
I have 7 of them sitting here.
It's got some settings, but you can set it to like alert you if something, if like it'll like have a little red thing next to it if someone's mentioned you. These are things that people ask for in Chatter, by the way.
Right.
But you click on it, and then boom, you're in Chatter. You're seeing your feed. You can search. You can look at your user details. You can go to different groups. You can even post something to Chatter, to all followers, to a group, etc. But you can set it up so that you can be logged into multiple orgs.
Okay.
So you can jump with a little pick list.
Nice.
Or drop down which org you want to be in, and it's right there in your browser. So it's really easy to get to if you want to get to multiple Chatter groups or Chatter orgs, whatever you might be in as a part of. If you're a customer and you're in a customer group, or if you want your own and you don't want to have to necessarily be logged into Salesforce to get to Chatter, and you don't like Chatter Desktop because it's an Air client and you just don't like it. So here's a little Chrome extension called Chatter Monitor.
Very good. I like it. I don't use extensions as much as I have a ton up here. I have a Google Voice one. I have Evernote. I have Amazon. The one I do like is Amazon Wishlist.
I have Chrome for a Cause. I don't know if that even exists.
I don't think
anymore.
It used to be around Christmas.
And I have the Salesforce ID snipper thing.
Yep, and I have a color picker one, which I like. So you can pick a color if you're doing HTML work. Anyway, my pick is, so yours, Chatter Monitor free from Fronde. Check the show notes for the link. My pick of the week is called
this thing.
Yeah, so I am a tech guy. And I like...
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know. This is crazy talk.
Wait a second.
And I am a big fan of the television, but I also am a big fan of multiple devices. So you've heard me talk about the Roku, the Apple TV, TiVo. I have PS3. I have Wii, and I have a receiver, and a TV. And then on Sundays, I go crazy, and I put up 3 other TVs because I make a command center or whatever. Long story short... My world of remotes, my remote drawer has about 15 remotes in it. I've always had a singular remote, one remote to rule them all. And this is not meant to be to insult, but we refer to it as the God stick. So I've had one. I had one by a company. I think it was called Remote Central or something. Remote something. It's a weird name because it was like the name of the company was Remote. And I was visiting a friend in Bermuda a couple months ago, and they had this. And I've heard about this one. I've heard it's very good, and I've heard it very easy and whatever, or had a lot of features. But one of the things that you suffer with when you have lots of devices is the switching between the devices, because you're usually switching multiple things or controlling multiple devices. So the remote has to be smart enough to know when I want to go here, turn my receiver to this, turn my TV to this, and turn my this to this. And so I'm actually picking the Logitech Harmony 1, which is it's called the Advanced Universal Remote. Logitech makes a bunch. This one has a nice touchscreen. It has a nice feel. It has hard buttons as well as the soft buttons. But the best part of it is, first of all, I taught my daughter, my 7.5-year-old daughter, how to use it in about 5 minutes. So it passed the daughter test. Then took
That's
me
like Phil Dunphy having to do that on Modern Family.
It then took me about 15 minutes to teach my wife. But whatever, I'm just saying.
That was also part of the...
Yeah, it's just a joke. But what's nice is it has these nice big simple things at the top. Big buttons. Watch TiVo, and then you name them. Watch Roku, watch Apple TV. You click it, and then it sends all the commands and gets it ready. So she no longer has to know to switch sources or power or whatever. You click one button, and it says watch TiVo. Watch Roku, watch Apple TV, or play a game, and then it switches it over to the PS3. It is really, really cool. And I went over, and I even got the one that you can control the PS3 with, so I can actually control the PS3 around. It controls the Roku, the Apple TV. It controls everything. It's actually rechargeable, so it sits in a little like kind of sled. It's awesome. Harmony. I will say the one drawback is when you want to set it up, first, give yourself some time, because it's going to take about 3 hours to get it ready. You have to basically know all your devices, and then you use an application. You hook it up to your computer, and you have an application, and you sort of, it has a wizard. It says, what do you want to control? Okay, name it. But I mean, I'm pretty good at this stuff, and it took me a good 3 hours to get it set up so it really did everything I wanted to do flawlessly. But now it's awesome. I love it. They're not cheap, these universal remotes. It's about $132. There's actually a newer version, which I've looked at, but I want to wait until they kind of have done it a little bit. But Logitech Harmony One, it's a great remote. I suggest it for almost everybody. There's all these add-ons you can put. It can learn remotes, so if you have something that's old, because it has a database, but then it can learn new remotes. Like if you have something new, it'll learn it as well. You can almost program any button to do anything. So it is very cool. Highly recommend. It is a great remote. All right, well, that's it. Speaking of great things, go to blog.arkusinc.com and see our great blog. There's our great podcast there. Thanks for leaving reviews on iTunes. Remember to subscribe. You can follow us on twitter.com/ArkusInc or twitter.com/JasonMatwood or twitter.com/Just Edelstein. We are also in the Dreamforce portal. We have a portal group in there, CloudFocus Weekly, if you want to subscribe in there. We're on LinkedIn. We're on the facebook.com/ArkusInc. We're on the Google+. We're everywhere you want to be. Love the conversation. Remember to leave comments and discuss at the end of our blog posts or on the podcast if you enjoy them. If you want to chat with us about one of the many things that we brought up, how much you love touch, or whether you would or would not use the Harmony One remote. Until next week, we'll be back with another episode. Until then, as always, enjoy those cloudy days.